Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Make It Good. I'm Alex, and I've got another video of recommendations before the big 50% off sale at Barnes & Noble for all Criterion discs. And today's video centers all about films that explore masculinity in some sort. I think generally we tend to think of this as a more modern concept for films, but really this is something that's been touched on before, hasn't always been successful in movies, but I think this is a concept that's been tried to have at least been explored. And so I've got a list of films here that do that. All of the films that I'm going to be recommending today have come out either by or before 1950. So I've got three movies here. Let's go ahead and jump into those. So the first film that I want to talk about is Spine number 810. This one did come out in 1950, and that is, of course, In a Lonely Place, directed by Nicholas Ray and starring Humphrey Bogart. Bogart's character, he is a screenwriter. He hasn't really had a hit in a while, but he's kind of just living his life, going to bars, getting drinks, and he's very quick to anger. We learn that very soon. He's a fairly violent person just because he's unhappy. He's unhappy with his life. He's cynical. And then he gets wrapped up in a murder mystery. In fact, he is considered one of the prime suspects in the case, and things are pointing heavily to him. It's all about how, at least the beginning of the movie, it's all about how his temperament, the way people see him really makes him fit the bill as the most likely suspect in this murder case. Now, during this case, one of the witnesses, played by Gloria Graham, comes into the picture, and they begin to start a relationship. And the movie ends up taking a shift at this point. We actually get to see more about their relationship growing and blossoming, and whether or not his temper, his need to be in control, can withstand that, and actually can he begin to change for the better and for the betterment of this relationship. So it's a fascinating movie. I absolutely can't recommend this enough, and that is In a Lonely Place. All right, so the next film that I've got up for you is Spine number 709. This came out in 1948, and that is Red River, directed by Howard Hawks. This stars John Wayne and Montgomery Clift. John Wayne is this rancher. He's got a bunch of cattle, and he needs to go and sell it to market. And Montgomery Clift is his adopted son, basically, who's been, living on the ranch, growing up with him. And this is all about, there's very much a son trying to step out of his father's shadow, especially when he sees that John Wayne's character is making massive, what he considers mistakes into getting this cattle to market, because there's a different route that he think would actually be better. It would be quicker, it would be safer, and they would end up making more money because they would be the first to make this route to this new location where they can sell their cattle. But of course, John Wayne's character, he is stuck in his ways, and it's very much about that stubborn headedness that you get, and kind of the can cooler heads prevail, or is that stubbornness gonna steamroll over everything? Now, particular thing about this release, if you find it, this comes with the novel that it was based off, Blazing Guns on the Chisholm Trail. And actually, I gotta say, the movie's enjoyable. It does explore a lot of themes, but this book is absolutely fantastic. If you're a reader, I would definitely suggest reading the book before you watch the movie, because they actually do so much more with this concept of exploring the masculinity of both of these characters. And they actually do a significant change to the ending in the movie. I absolutely prefer the ending in the book, but both are worth watching and both are worth exploring. So that is, of course, Red River. All right, so the final film that I want to talk about today is our earliest film. It is Spine number 1024. It came out in 1939, and that is Destry Rides Again, directed by George Marshall, starring Marlene Dietrich and, of course, James Stewart. So this film, when I watched it for the first time, very quickly became one of my favorite Westerns. This was the first film that I saw that completely subverted my idea of a Western, and that's because Destry, played by James Stewart, uh, is the only guy within this town. He comes to this town to clean it up, and he doesn't use a gun. Doesn't use a gun at all. He doesn't believe in it. He doesn't like resorting to that kind of violence. He'd rather use his words. And it's interesting to see people back down from him because they don't want to shoot an unarmed man. It's like that part, like if someone else has a gun, that gives them a reason to kill somebody, to shoot him. But if he doesn't have a gun, well, what do you do? So now, there's a lot of interesting turns that this movie takes. The commentary on this and some of the features are fantastic because they really talk about this value of gun violence and not wanting to be a part of it, and how much that plays into the movie. If you want a very unique, as early as it is, a very unique Western film, Destry Rides Again, you can't go wrong. All right, so that's it for my recommendations. These are all films that explore masculinity in one way or another. If you got any films that you think could have been included in this, especially if they're early films, if they're later films, if they're more recent films, absolutely, that's fine. I'd like to hear them all in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, watch good movies, eat good food, take care of yourself, someone else if you can, and just try to make it good. Take care now.